Let me paint you a picture. It's a crisp autumn evening. You're heading into the city, dinner reservation, good company, the kind of night where you want to smell like you've got your life together. You reach for something that won't offend, won't overwhelm, but will absolutely be noticed. That fragrance is Mont Blanc Legend Eau de Parfum. And here's the thing, most people write this off as a safe, boring, mass-market crowd pleaser. I used to be one of those people. I was wrong. Stick around, because by the end of this video I'm going to tell you exactly why the dry down on this fragrance does something that most flankers at twice the price simply cannot pull off. Mont Blanc. You know the name from pens. Luxury pens. The kind that sit in a gift box and make you feel important just holding them. Founded in Hamburg in 1906, Mont Blanc built their entire identity around precision craftsmanship and understated prestige. Not the loudest luxury, the most assured luxury. When they moved into fragrance, they brought exactly that philosophy with them. The original Mont Blanc Legend EDP launched in 2011 and became one of the best-selling masculine fragrances in the world almost immediately. Not because it was groundbreaking, but because it was executed with a kind of quiet confidence that very few mainstream houses manage. The EDP, which is what we're talking about today, came later and took that same DNA and pushed it somewhere richer, deeper, more complex. Mont Blanc understands that their customer isn't trying to shout. They're trying to impress without trying to impress. And honestly, that restraint is harder to achieve than people give them credit for. Right. The bottle. Let's talk about it because it genuinely matters, and with Mont Blanc Legend EDP, they've done something rather clever. The flacon is deep midnight blue, almost navy, with a darkness to it that shifts depending on the light. It's weighty. Solid. It sits in your hand and feels like it costs more than it does. The cap is a smooth matte cylinder that echoes the shape of their iconic pen lids, which is a lovely bit of brand storytelling that most people won't consciously notice but will subconsciously appreciate. The spray mechanism is tight and precise, no wasteful splatter, a fine controlled mist, exactly what you want. The box is clean, minimal, with that signature Mont Blanc star embossed on the front. Is it the most exciting bottle on your shelf? No. Will it embarrass you if someone picks it up? Absolutely not. It communicates exactly what the brand wants it to communicate: quiet, assured, expensive adjacent. I'd display this. It earns its place on the shelf. Okay. First spray. The moment of truth. You press that atomizer and the first thing that greets you is this really lush, almost electric burst of bergamot and lavender, but it's not the sharp barbershop lavender you might be bracing yourself for. It's rounder than that. Fuller. There's a slightly sweet, almost aquatic freshness underneath it that lifts the whole opening up and gives it this sense of cool, clean energy. It projects beautifully right out of the gate. This is not a skin scent at first spray. It announces itself. Not aggressively, not in a way that clears the room, but in the way that makes the person next to you on the lift quietly wonder what you're wearing. The opening lasts a good 15 to 20 minutes before it starts to settle and evolve, and during those first moments it genuinely smells premium. There's a brightness to it that feels modern without feeling trendy. It doesn't smell dated. It doesn't smell like every other blue fragrance from 2010. It has its own identity and you feel that immediately. As that initial brightness starts to soften, something really interesting happens. The heart of Legend EDP begins to emerge and it is noticeably richer than the EDT version. There's a warmth that creeps in, a woody, slightly spiced accord that feels almost like cashmere if cashmere were a smell. I get a sense of coumarin in here, that's soft tonka-like. Sweetness that bridges the gap between fresh and warm without tipping into gourmand territory. There's also what I describe as a smooth, almost creamy woody note, sandalwood adjacent, that starts wrapping itself around the fresher top notes and the whole fragrance begins this beautiful transition from bright and clean to warm and enveloping. And this is where the EDP earns its upgrade over the EDT. The EDT is great. The EDT is a classic. But it stays in that fresh, clean space. The EDP takes you somewhere else in the heart. It develops. It rewards patience. If you spray this and make a judgment in the first 5 minutes, you'll miss the best of it. Give it 20 minutes. 30. Let it breathe on your skin. That's when it starts to get genuinely interesting. Now this right here is what I teased at the start of the video, and I'm going to deliver. The dry down on Mont Blanc Legend EDP is exceptional for the price point. After 3 to 4 hours, what you're left with is this gorgeous, warm, slightly sweet woody amber base that sits close to the skin but never disappears entirely. It's almost like a skin scent, but a very good one, the kind that makes someone lean in closer to figure out where that smell is coming from. There's a softness to it, a comfort, like a cashmere jumper that happens to smell incredible. The synthetic woodsy notes that can sometimes feel sharp or headache-inducing in cheaper fragrances are beautifully blended here. They're smooth. They're deep. They feel natural even though they're not. The dry down is the soul of this fragrance, and it is, genuinely, where I think Legend EDP surpasses a lot of its competition. I've worn fragrances at 3 times the price that don't give you a dry down this satisfying. That's not hype. That's just what's in the bottle. Let's be honest and specific here, because this is where a lot of reviews fall apart. On my skin, and skin chemistry matters, your results may vary. I get a solid 6 to 7 hours of real, detectable presence. The first 2 hours have genuine projection, proper sillage, the kind where you walk away and leave a trail. Hours 2 through 4 it becomes more of a close aura around you, a present, pleasant, noticeable up close. By hour 5 or 6 it's mostly a skin scent, but a warm and gorgeous one. On clothes? Different story entirely. On a wool jumper or a shirt collar I've had this last well into the next day. If you want the longevity without constantly reapplying, spray your clothes. 2 sprays on skin, 1 on the collar of your shirt, and you are sorted for an entire evening. This is not a beast mode fragrance. This is not the fragrance you wear if you want to walk into a room and have everyone stop talking. This is the fragrance you wear when you want the person you're talking to, up close, to be quietly enchanted. And that's a very different, and arguably more sophisticated, kind of power. Let me paint a few portraits for you. If you're the type of person who books restaurants rather than queuing for them, who owns 1 genuinely good watch rather than 5 cheap ones, who prefers a well-made gin and tonic to a complicated cocktail, this fragrance is your wardrobe staple. You will reach for it constantly. If you're someone who's new to fragrance, who wants something that works in every situation without having to think about it, this is genuinely one of the best entry-level EDPs you can buy. It will never get you wrong. First date, job interview, casual Friday, dinner with the in-laws, it handles all of it. And if you already own a serious fragrance collection and need something reliable, something your partner will always approve of, something you can spray when your brain is too tired to make a creative choice, this is that fragrance. Now, who should not wear this? If you want to be the most interesting smelling person in any room, look elsewhere. If niche is your world, if you're a zoologist or a tower collector, this might feel a little too familiar, a little too comfortable. If you want something that starts conversations about what you're wearing, this probably won't do it. It's too refined for that. It's more likely to make someone trust you than interrogate you. And if you want something that lasts on your skin 12 plus hours without reapplication, you'll want to look at heavier, more concentrated options. Right. The numbers. 100 milliliters at £58. That's 58 pence per milliliter. In the current fragrance market, for an EDP from a house with this level of brand recognition and this level of quality in the bottle, that is, and I mean this, genuinely good value. You are not just paying for the name here. The juice deserves the price. The quality of the blending, the longevity, the sheer wearability, this punches above its weight class. If you want a cheaper alternative that scratches a similar itch, have a look at Armaf Club de Nuit Intense Man EDP. It's a different beast, but it shares that warm woody sweetness in the base at a significantly lower price point. Worth knowing about. But if you want the real thing, the proper construction, the brand confidence, the bottle you're proud to display, Mont Blanc Legend EDP at £58 is one of the most honest purchases you can make in mainstream fragrance. I'd give this an 8.5 out of 10. The 0.5 it loses is purely because the projection drops off faster than I'd like and it doesn't have quite enough complexity in a heart to push it into truly special territory. But an 8.5 from me means I genuinely recommend this without reservation. You can get yours over at p-11.com. I'll drop the direct link in the description below. They're a reliable UK stockist with a clean site and good pricing. Mont Blanc Legend EDP is the fragrance that proves you don't need to spend a fortune or dive into niche to smell genuinely, memorably good. It's sophisticated, warm, well-built, and earns every penny of its £58 price tag. It's not the most exciting fragrance I've ever reviewed, but it might be one of the most useful. Now here's what I want to know from you. If you own Legend EDP, did that dry down win you over, or did you end up reaching for something else because the projection just wasn't enough for your lifestyle? Tell me in the comments, I genuinely read them all. And if honest fragrance reviews without the hype are what you're after, subscribe, I post every week.